remember that when I was having such a hard time, with the whole mess I got myself into. It was the first Sunday, and I was missing it because I was all tore up, women. And I was on sabbatical, and it's so weird for me not to be in church on Sundays, So I'm sitting at home. Dang it, and I'm going to pull a Ricky on myself. I was sitting at home with Irene and Nancy, and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't going to church. And I looked out the window, and here came Algie's van. And out of Algie's van piled MCC people. And Rick came in with his laptop, and he did the whole worship service in our living room. And he served me communion. Oh, it was one of those times where I needed somebody else's faith to lean on. Just because I'm a pastor doesn't mean that I'm always empowered. I can talk pretty. But there are some times it's been hard. And here they came and did worship. We sang all the songs. And they served me communion. There was a point with, I knew that if the congregation could not be one of grace and forgiveness, I was going to be out. I got short with people when they judged me because I'm saying, well, look at your behavior, you know what I mean? Cast a stone. But it wasn't. All the years of talking about love and grace and mercy, it worked. It really worked. When Jackie was killed, Darlene and I sat in the front row, and when she died, we held hands through her service. I'm here to tell you is that what happens in this church is real. And when you're at a time of need, people stand up. They don't say, oh, I'm too busy. That's because that's what God told me to teach. God told me to keep you fresh, to keep you going, to keep you empowered, and to love each other. This is not Rick's favorite song, but they'll know we're Christians by our love. That's probably his least favorite, except I think he likes it now. I don't know. And I've watched it. I watched it through Tony. Well done, saints. Well done. Well done. You did so good with that old priest who's now in a cloud of witnesses, and going to watch for us still. We have to walk through Al and Dave next. Told you about praying about that. David was going to go to Helena, and Al needed someone to stay with him on the 18th, but it so happened that two people from Nobby and Betty are going to watch. We will. We'll be able to take our brother's hands and tell him he doesn't have to be afraid. He doesn't have to be afraid, because where he's going to go is going to be good.
Amen.
I know that. I run my hand in there. I touched that little bit of heaven before I got sent back. And I'm telling you, it's good. It's really good. I've had people talk about having those places. And it is scary when you're letting go of everything and somebody has to take care of you. It's kind of uncomfortable. And I know we'll walk that through. And I know we'll pick up David and we'll help him through. God, this has been a caregiving church in the last 20 years. I'm telling you, we tried really, really hard to be a Christian to anybody that walks this church. I think God is well pleased. But we have to remember not to get distracted and start to lose our spirit of joy and our spirit of rich love. We have to be sure that that's renewed. And that we're not running in places that don't cause us to be joined together. You know what I mean? Oh, right on the speaker. So, I know when it comes to push to shove, we can do it. I know we can. And I'm a relationship supporter, so you need to know that. I support relationships even when I know that there's trouble ahead. I will stand and try to get you back together no matter what you come in to run in. I will say this is long term. You say, I'm not going to leave. Because I can't work with a couple till they say, I'm not leaving. If one of them is going to leave, you just can't do that. One more story, because I know I'm long-winded, Ricky, sorry. God has a long wind sometimes. I seen Justin.
We
remember that the next time I'm on.
I will. If I forget, remind me.
I will.
Well, you're kind of in on this one.
Oh.
You know, Justin used to kind of appear in the community, you know. He'd come up and talk, but I didn't know who he was. You know, and he kept kind of just hanging around like Justin can do. And we'd had a mother and a son death 2 in a row. Because gay men and mothers, for the most part, have a very special connection. And it's a heavy toll. And I said, Justin, you must promise me that when your mom crosses over, you don't commit suicide. Promise me, make that covenant. You know, he also lost a sister and his grandma in the same week. And he'd look at me and he'd say, oh, I heard about picking up your cross and following daily, but it's getting kind of heavy. And I would laugh. You know, he lived here first time that he was out on his own. He said, Gina, I got to go back, tell my mom she needs me, and she did. And she died with her son there. And Justin has his own place now. And Ricky and Paul are good friends to Justin. And Justin's a good balancer for Ricky when Paul's gone.
Thank God.
Thank God. You know, Justin, you're amazing. You are amazing. Your walk is amazing. You know, what you created to go with God is amazing. Your rock solid faith. I've watched you through all the situations. I've watched this become home and trying to get us a little more liturgical. God bless him.
Charismatic liturgy.
Yes. And there are many more stories. You know, I should have probably asked everybody that I talked about today, but they were the ones that came forward. And there's many more beyond that.
Amen.
There's nothing that life can dish out that God cannot take care of.
Amen.
Whatever life ditches out, God will take care of, and God will give you the right preachers, teachers, friends, and colleagues to help you.
It's true.
We can claim victory on that. We
Amen.
can claim
Yes.
victory.
Amen.
And we don't have to be lonely, and we don't have to be alone.
Amen.
That's how you fall back in love with someone, just what I did with you today. You remember when. No matter what you're having trouble with, you go back and you remember when things were very good. And you grab a hold of that feeling and you go, you know, I loved Rick when he had to dig me out of a snowbank because I got stuck going home with a quart of his clam chowder, and he has to come out and try to pull me through the snowbank. You know, I think about those things and the walk that I've had with these guys. Maybe this is the setup to Frida. You are, God is well pleased, but know there's going to be more put on your plate spiritually. Be good salt.
Amen.
Watch out for becoming Mrs. Dash with no flavor and no zeal for God. Anything else?
Amen. Nope.
Amen. And all God's
Amen.
people said,
Amen.